Hi there and welcome. It's Ruth here at Artful Stampin. Welcome to the replay of this gorgeous card. So I'm going to be showing you how to make this, and it's a card that I made at a recent, or designed for a recent class. And so everybody got this pack, and I'm going to be making it in front of you so that you can see what it's like. So for those of you who are watching live, thank you for joining me. Hi Janice, hi Kay, Nydia, lovely to see you all, and Vanessa made it in. Right, so this is the third video in a line of three. Yes, this is the last video in a line of three of cards that I've made this evening, but I decided to film them separately so that it's easier for, if there's a particular one that you like the look of, you can then bookmark it or pin it or whatever. Because I feel that if I did all three in one go, then it's easy to get lost, you know. Right, so very simple technique and a great one for using free product. Okay, so I know I put the kind of keyword freebies in the title, and that's because there are two products using this that could be classed as freebies. So they're freebies once you spend money, obviously, but I think they're really good value and quality freebies. So the papers that I used, you get 12 sheets, and they're various sort of this style, painterly, very reminiscent of Monet's water lily paintings and the garden paintings that he did. And so you can get a pack of those for free if you spend £45. And then the other thing that you can get for free when you spend £45 is this stamp set here, which is this beautiful floral lily pad themed one. And I really love that main central image and thought it would be nice to show it off. Now, some of you did see me playing with it for the first time a few weeks ago, and I'm just going to go through again the technique for creating this beautiful pink and yellow type effect. So for those of you who are demonstrators and perhaps would want to recreate this, use this in your classes, you need a card base. Just so happens that's got a few little marks on it, but it's fine because it's going to get covered up by the designer series paper that has been cut to fit the card base. Again, you cut it for the shape in your market. I use a standard A4 cut in half, and then my matting layer is 5mm short on each side. A piece of white cardstock, and that's just so that, you know, rather than having a one big piece that your class have to kind of cut a piece out of, it's just easier sometimes to cut a piece for them and supply it. And then I've cut out of black cardstock, the basic black, using the circle framelits dies. This is one of the scallop circles, and I will get the measurement for you in a second for that. And then I cut a pink, this is Melon Mambo, and then this is Flirty Flamingo. So this is the 2 1/4 inch punch, and that's the 2-inch punch. So basically it's the scallop circle that fits the 2 1/4 inch punch with that little bit of a gap all the way around. Now, a nifty trick I found is that you can actually cut 2 pieces of cardstock in one go when using the framelits. I don't know if it's officially recommended. I'm just telling you that's what I did, and I seem to think it worked fine. And when you're prepping a class of more than 10, it does help to cut down on your prep time. Right, so when it comes to actually making it, the first thing I did was say to my ladies, please don't stick this piece of paper down until you have tied your threads round. Even though I did warn them, there were still some that did it, but it's fine. Make sure you have some glue dots handy. I didn't anticipate having to use glue dots, so I was fortunate enough to have a demo friend there who gave me some of her glue dots for people who'd forgotten to tie their bits of thread round. So just bear that in mind, that sometimes people don't, you know, always take in the instructions, which is fine, but just maybe have a plan for if that happens, and have a backup. Right, so I just want to, I can't see any comments because, right, there we go, that's better. You didn't start getting floral sets until you started watching Ruth, says Angharad. Oh dear, what have I gone and done to you, Angharad? Right, I'm just inking this stamp up really well. And as I said to my ladies, I said, you've got to hold it there for a few seconds because you want that ink to really absorb into that paper. I infected her, says Martina. Yeah, I infected her with floralness. Floralcitis. Floralitis. Oh dear, that didn't move. That didn't work, did it? Never mind, there's always two sides to a piece of paper. I think I'm going to have to stand up for this. I have got some stamping mats underneath here, but I've got several layers of grid paper to go through. So, right, let's do that better. Kia ora, Angharad. That's better. There we go. Hi, Wendy. You've just ordered lily pad set. Yay, there we go. Right, inspiration for you. Right, so I'm using the lovely lipstick the Stampin' Blends, which are alcohol markers. And I recommend that you have a look at your flower, and where the petals meet, or the base of each petal, that's where you put your darker colour. Okay, so you just kind of colour that in, and it doesn't have to be too strict, you know, it doesn't have to keep in the lines or anything. It doesn't matter if, you know. And then if you want to also take that colour up where the lines are, the veins of the petals, sometimes it's handy to do that as well, because that's, you know, what the artist who's created it has given you that guideline, so make use of it to create the shading. So just doing that very quickly. Add that all in. There we go. On that side, yeah, there we go. Right, and then, so this is the light lovely lipstick. I'll just double check that. Yes, light lovely lipstick. So then use this to colour in the rest of the flower, paying particular attention to where the light meets the dark, and if there is sort of streaking and obvious differentiation, then just go over and over and over that area there, so I can see that there's a slight line there. Let's get you in a bit closer so that you can see what I mean. I just tell Greg that Ruth made me do it. Thanks, Vanessa. You see, you can do that because you live so far away from me. I don't think he's going to come over and, you know, dispute it with me, is he? Ruth made me do it. Is that another slogan for a t-shirt? Artful Stampin made me do it. I was looking at Teespring the other day. They're a merchandise company that you can create. I'd need to get a logo and stuff created, and then I thought we could have words, and then if anyone wanted a t-shirt, they can just order it from Teespring. Not just t-shirts, they do all sorts of things as well. They do other merch, like mugs and what else? Pens, possibly? I don't know. I need to have a look into it a bit better. Mwah, says Angharad. Yeah, Angharad, you're far enough away to blame me too. All you New Zealanders. One of my good friends is in New Zealand right now. I'm not quite sure what part. That'd be really weird if some of you actually are near her now. Oh, you could go and give her stuff to bring back. Go and give her some chocolate. What you think New Zealand chocolate, the best New Zealand sweets and things. Right, So this is dark pineapple punch. And so what we do with this is the magic bit. Is what you do is you go into the tips, right into the tips here, like that. And you just apply that, like that. Good. Oh, Greg might send one of my relies to deal with you. Oh dear, okay. I better not tell you where I live. So use the yellow right in the points. And it doesn't matter if you come over. We're going to be cutting this out anyway, so it doesn't matter if you go outside the lines. But look at that, it just brings the flower alive, doesn't it, by adding that bit of yellow. Actually, that's the outside of it, isn't it? So we don't want that to be too yellow. Actually want that to be darker. How's the... Oh, you've got storms as well. Raiding the stores of toilet paper and paper towels. Oh my goodness, yeah. Yeah, we're running out of paper towels and toilet roll for other reasons. Yeah, the one that Martina mentioned. So it is March 2020, people, if you're watching this in the future. And the coronavirus outbreak has happened. And so the UK is a little bit behind Italy in its escalation. But we are bracing ourselves for the epidemic to be on the rise. So Donald Trump announced this morning that he's banning any travel between mainland Europe and America. Boris Johnson in the UK has just asked people who have got any symptoms to quarantine themselves for 7 days. So if you've got a temperature or a persistent cough. So yeah, it's all very interesting at the moment, and it's probably the worst epidemic of this lifetime, really, this generation. So it's very, very interesting to see how it all pans out. But as I read a very helpful article, so if you're a Christian, I don't know if you've ever gone to the Gospel Coalition website, but there was a helpful article on there the other day talking about how we need to, you know, be kind to each other and help those who are weak, you know. So it might be, and you know, I've already thought about this, you know, I might have to turn my kitchen into a bit of a, not a soup kitchen, obviously people can't come to my house and eat, but it might be that I'll have to batch cook for people, and, you know, drop off meals at people who've been isolated. So, you know, I think it's worth thinking about who are the most vulnerable in your community and how we protect them and help them. So, there we go. I'm planning a trip to Europe. Yeah, it is all up in the air, Betty, unfortunately. Yeah, the Gospel Coalition. It's a just an organisation, a sort of evangelical organisation, and actually, I don't know if it is just exclusively American. There are quite a few American pastors who are on it. People like John Piper and Tim Keller, people like that. But they do some good articles. And someone just wrote a really helpful article recently about it. Yes, I've just realised I'm high risk and made plans for assistance. Good, Deborah. Yeah, you've got to think ahead, you know, and it's all very well saying, oh, it's only people that are, you know, and at high risk that get it. Yeah, exactly. And we all know people who are high risk. We all know people who are vulnerable. And so it's not just about thinking, oh, well, I'll be all right, I'll survive it. Well, yeah, you very well may survive it or might not. But it's who you're passing it on to, you know. So anyway, it's just, you know, just I think just a bit of thought, and not panic, but a little bit of thought. Right, so let's put together this card. So as I said, do remind folks that before sticking the paper down onto the cardstock, it's nice to just do a bit of embellishing with some thread. So this is exactly what I supplied to my ladies the other day after they got their kits. On the table was this, and in here was various threads, so they could choose what they wanted to use, some sequins and some gems. So we'll get the thread out first. Excuse me. And then just pick colours that kind of go with, you know, what you've got there. So I really don't know what I should do when my neighbours return from Japan, for which I'm cat sitting at the moment. What do you mean? You mean you don't know whether to have contact with them? It I suppose it depends if they were in a affected area. Yeah, I was thinking about you, Steph, as well. I mean, could you all go into isolation? Like, could you, or do they have external carers? Like, if you ordered it together now, you'd all be together and, you know. I mean, would it be easier to be with them or for them to be with you? Oh, the twine is sold out in the States. Ah, okay, right. So this is another freebie that you can get. So it's these two here with the sequins. That is a freebie when you spend £45 during celebration. Now, apparently it's sold out in the States, but as far as I know, it's still available here. So stock up on card making supplies. I know. You know what, us crafters, you know, I'd quite happily spend 2 weeks in my craft room, but that's not what it's about, is it? Yeah, we haven't closed schools yet because, and if you're in the UK and you didn't see the full press conference, I do recommend you watch the full press conference, because unfortunately the press tend to just show the highlights of these press conferences, and actually the detailed information and the stuff that actually makes sense is in the detail, so it's worth listening to it all. Right, I'm trying to move this across because I've done it a bit too far over so that I can still stick my, there we go, that's it. Right, so let's get this all here. Yeah, I'm loving the string because it's a sort of thing that we end up with quite a bit of, and it's really a really simple way to make things look very luxurious. So just put 2 or 3 together and, you know, mix it up a bit. And I think this one, oh no, this is available still. It's in that pack of 4 bits of twine. We are having a family meetup tomorrow as they have enough food, 3 freezers full and their cellar. Oh, that's great. So you've already been bulk buying. Yeah, see, I think some Brits have been bulk buying because of Brexit. So it's, you know, we're just going to use our Brexit stash. Right, so the other little detail, I'm just trying to find it, my pen, is to put little stitch marks, oh there's my pen, little stitch marks around the edge of this. And to do that, we just use the white chalk pen. Now, I don't know if I've spoken to you about this, but this is a lovely little pen that's carried in the annual catalogue, and I think it gets forgotten about quite often, but it's a really great little tool for adding highlights and details to cards. And I just do these little lines all the way around to make it look like it's been stitched, but it hasn't. So if you haven't got the stitched dies, never fear, you can fake it. Ta-da! Oh, Janice is going to be doing online classes because her ladies have got autoimmune conditions. Oh, absolutely, I know, it's just... So are they people that have got some supplies at home so they can just use their own stamps, Janice? I know, also, at the end of the day, if we've got craft supplies, if we run out of toilet paper, we'll have to use our least favourite DSP. Oh, what colour is the back scallop piece? Black. The back is black. So black, then Melon Mambo, then Flirty Flamingo. And I'm using a Flirty Flamingo base, which has got marks on it, but it's going to get covered up, so it doesn't matter. I use the Scallop Circle die from the... Oh, what's it called? Layering Circles Framelets, this one. And then that's the 2 1/4 and the 2-inch circle punch. So it's the largest ones that we do, really. So if you haven't got the framelets, if you've got these, what I call the starburst punch, it's the circle starburst. You could maybe go starburst, which is 2 1/4, then a 2-inch, and then a 1 and something, or just do 2 layers instead of the 3. So you could do that. So just to give it an extra bit of layering, I could stick this down with, or I would stick this down with some dimensionals. So and again, using up those edge bits. You know, waste not, want not. Put those on. There we go. Yeah, there's a tiny mark there. Yeah, it probably would come off with a mono eraser. It's only a little bit of ink. Right. Pop that on there like that. Oh, these are going everywhere. But I quite like it. And then just a case of putting that on then. Oh, and then some sequins, but we'll do that in a second. Love what a DSP does to a card. Yes. I just find it tricky to sometimes get the balance if you've got a detailed background of what can you put as your focal point. So I really love this stamp because it's so bold. You know, it really does, you know, shine through, even though the background is quite busy. And I guess for going for a limited colour palette in the centre, it makes it sort of show up really well. So, oh, these are going all over the place, these, but no, it's quite fun. It's quite zhuzhy and fun. Right, sequins. Thank you, Nydia. Right, let's get a little blob of glue, tiny wee blob. Oh, no, come on. Tiny bit there. Oh, I might just pop one there as well, just on there, and then maybe one there. And I use the... Oh yes, I remember I fought with this the other day, but anyway, I think I got it to work. Let's go for orange. Go for an orange one there, and there's some little orange ones, which once they're flicked the right way round, there we go. on there. And ooh, give it another little orange one. Pop on there. And then for added luxury, ladies and gentlemen, for added luxury and also to get rid of that gluey centre, oh, sorry, I've got the dimensional bits in here and I was trying to get them out. You can then add a little gem to the centre of your sequins, if it will let you. There we go. Yep. And I thought that was rather posh, doing that. You know, little extra bit of bling. So there we go. Now, obviously you can see there's a difference between the papers. And yes, my ladies all had, I think there was about 4 of each different option. And I just said, look, whatever you get, you get. So I can't control it. So they were fine with that. And then again, if you were doing it in a class, I put those together so that they didn't get too muddled up. And then I also supplied Flirty Flamingo Light and Dark 2 with Light Daffodil Delight. So we had 2 sets of colours going round. So some people had this lovely kind of darker shade, and then others had a nice lighter shade of pink that they coloured theirs in with. And you know, if they wanted it the same, they just waited for each other to finish before colouring. It was just to try and cut down on the amount of waiting time. So there we go. I missed that. The flower colours are gorgeous, great effect. Thank you. Yes, you do get a lot of dies with the framelets. Balancing the image is very tricky unless it's a delicate DS, but yes. Yes, they are great. Yes, it does have a very Monet feeling. Yeah, very much so. And it just, I think having that little bit of a black frame does help to highlight it. And some people, I did put the black thread in, and some people did go for the black just to, you know, pull it together even more. So there we go. You're very welcome, Anne Harrod. I hope you've enjoyed that. So this whole evening we've done 3 cards. Now we did also do another, there was another option. Oh, it was this one here, but I'm not going to do this one now, but we did, I supplied all the stamps needed for this card, and some people copied this as it was, and then some people did their own thing. So I just let people do whatever they wanted, really. But that's quite a just very much stamped, that one, a stamped card. And if you didn't catch the other night when we were doing the background papers and things, this was one of the cards we made the other night, which is kind of a combination of that one and that one, really, which I think is quite funny. So you've got the flower of that one there, and then you've got the graininess of that one and the pale green. Isn't that funny? So yeah, so if you yeah, please do like and subscribe and share these videos out with anybody that you think might like them. Of course, if you live in the UK and you'd like a paper copy of the catalogue, please drop me a line. I'm quite happy to send one out to you. And yeah, please do carry on creating, and I love seeing what you guys make, and please keep sharing. So you're very welcome, Nydia, and yeah, take care, everybody. Yeah, look after yourselves, be sensible, and yeah, we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye, Tony. Bye.